Welcome back to the deep dive. We have a really dense stack of sources this week, all focused on the high-speed AI landscape, specifically this creative arms race between the major players and, well, some brand new research that should probably make us all rethink how we build complex AI systems. Our whole mission today is to give you the fastest route to being thoroughly informed, to cut through the noise and figure out what actually matters for your work, for your strategy. Okay, let's unpack this.
It's been a week defined by just immediate aggressive competitive responses. I mean, we are seeing companies move their entire product lines within days of a competitor's announcement. The speed of iteration, especially in creative AI, is just intense.
And the research, too, it seems to be directly challenging some long-held assumptions.
Exactly. So today we're going to break down the sources across 4 key themes. First, how OpenAI kind of regained the lead in the creative space with a massive image upgrade. Second, the really surprising pitfalls that Google and MIT uncovered in multi-agent systems. Then we'll get into the new landscape of agents and some niche breakthroughs.
And finish with some practical tools.
And finish with the practical tools that are setting productivity records right now.
Great. So let's start there with that battle for creative supremacy. Because for a moment, it really felt like Google had all the momentum, didn't it? Especially after Nano Banana Pro.
Oh, absolutely. That was their big multimodal breakthrough, and it really did seem to set a new standard for a minute there.
OpenAI's response, though, was immediate.
It was an official counter. They're calling it GPT Image 1.5, and it was a necessary move, really, to protect their flank. It's a comprehensive structural upgrade to their image generator right inside ChatGPT.
And looking at the metrics and the sources, this feels less like just an update and more like a complete overhaul. The speed alone is incredible, up to 4 times faster.
Right, and speed is kind of the price of entry now, but it's the quality improvements that feel really strategic here.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the number one complaint from professional users about the old version was inconsistency.
Right.
You generate a perfect portrait, ask it to change, say, the color of the shirt, and suddenly the face, the lighting, the whole composition would just fracture.
I've definitely seen that.
Image 1.5 addresses this head-on. The sources are highlighting its ability to maintain that consistency across edits. It preserves faces, core composition, just seamlessly.
So if you're building a commercial campaign and need 20 variations of the same character?
Exactly. Now it's actually usable. Before, it was more of a novelty.
And what about the other big nemesis of these models? Text rendering. How often do you see these brilliant visuals just ruined by warped, illegible text?
It was a serious, rampant issue in the older model. Yeah. It basically limited its use for anything that needed clear branding or a text overlay. But 1.5 features a significant retooling for text. It now handles long content, infographics, varied text sizes.
So no more of those random symbols or letters just bleeding into each other?
Exactly. And that's the difference between a creative sandbox and a tool you can actually integrate into a marketing production workflow.
So strategically, what does this aggressive update actually do for OpenAI?
It completely resets the field. The sources are really clear on this. Image 1.5 has vaulted the company right back to the frontier.
Wow.
It's moved them to first place on both artificial analysis and LM Arena's leaderboards for text-to-image and editing. It's a crucial move, especially after the recent GPT 5.2 release. It shows they're ensuring parity across, all vectors of intelligence and creation.
And they also made it easier to use, which is always key. They added a new dedicated creative panel.
Right, moving beyond just the chat box. They added quick start templates, curated style options.
It's that constant battle for efficiency and access, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
They know that technical leadership has to be married to usability.
Okay, speaking of technical leadership, let's pivot to that piece of research I mentioned, the one I found almost counterintuitive. It challenges that basic assumption we all make, that more complexity always equals better results. Let's talk about the Google and MIT study on multi-agent systems.
This research is, I think, essential context for anyone thinking about large-scale AI deployment. I mean, the entire agentic hype has been built on this idea that if one agent is good, a whole team of specialized agents must be exponentially better.
So what was the core hypothesis they were actually testing? Did the complexity of the task matter?
That was the heart of it. They wanted to know if you could just throw more compute and more specialized agents at a problem and automatically see improvement. They ran 180 controlled experiments across models from OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, keeping the prompts and the token budgets exactly the same to really isolate that one variable.
And the performance swing is what really jumps out from the data. It wasn't a consistent benefit at all. It was more like a wild gamble.
Exactly. When the task was highly modular, like a complex financial analysis where you can split the workload cleanly.
So one agent does balance sheets, another tracks market trends.
A third summarizes regulatory changes, right? In those cases, they saw an incredible 81% improvement in accuracy.
Wow.
That's the proof of concept for multi-agent systems right there.
But then there's the failure case.
But then look at the failure case. For tasks that need sequential, step-by-step reasoning, where if one agent fails, it throws the next one completely off course.
Like the Minecraft tasks they use.
Right. Performance degraded by up to 70%.
So it didn't just not help, it actively made things worse. It's like trying to get 5 separate project managers to coordinate on one super delicate task. Too many handoffs, too much overhead.
It's a perfect analogy. The complexity itself became the bottleneck. It just created noise instead of value. But the most actionable finding for you listening is the threshold they identify.
Which is that 45% baseline accuracy number?
Yes. The study found that if a single, well-designed agent already hits 45% accuracy on a given task, bringing in a multi-agent system usually led to worse performance.
So 45% is that critical point where the single agent is already competent enough?
That the added overhead of coordination, the agents talking to each other, managing communication, it all just creates diminishing returns and, frankly, wastes resources and money.
So does this study suggest that this whole push towards hyper-complex agentic startups might be fundamentally misguided for, say, 80% of enterprise tasks?
It certainly tempers the hype.
Yeah.
If your goal is a highly sequential, step-by-step reasoning problem, which describes a lot of daily business workflows, these findings suggest you're probably just wasting your budget on tokens and complexity.
A single, well-designed agent will likely do better.
And at a fraction of the cost. Efficiency has to be prioritized over these elaborate architectures.
That feels like the essential insight of the week. More isn't always better. Sometimes it's just more expensive noise. Let's transition now. Moving from that foundational research to the practical breakthroughs and new tools that are actively shaping the current market, we'll take a slightly slower, maybe more measured rhythm here to really dive into the implications.
Yeah, we're seeing innovation now in integration, in evaluation, and in some really niche data processing areas.
Let's start with Google. They're testing a significant new productivity agent called CC.
Right. This is an experimental thing from Google Labs, powered by Gemini, and it's designed to integrate deeply with their core suite, Gmail, Calendar, and Drive.
What's interesting to me here is the shift from passive data storage to proactive digital organization.
That's exactly. CC is designed to act on your behalf. Its key feature is emailing you daily your day-ahead briefings. And it's not just summarizing meetings, it's outlining key tasks, appointments, even bills that are due.
So it moves the AI from being a chatbot. You have to go and query to a true digital assistant that briefs you first.
And crucially, you can delegate just by adding CC to an email thread. You can tell it, CC, draft a quick follow-up on this, then send a calendar link for next week.
It takes those administrative handoffs right out of your workflow.
It's that incremental step toward making AI part of the plumbing of your work, not just another app you have to open.
Okay, moving into the audio space, we have Resemble AI launching Chatterbox Turbo.
This is a text-to-voice model, and it's claiming to be the fastest open-source voice AI model available that actually includes emotional nuance.
And the key differentiator here, according to the Padonos tests, which are, widely respected as the gold standard for these models,
is a feature called paralinguistic prompting.
Paralinguistic prompting.
It means instead of just hoping the model infers the right tone, you can explicitly type in emotional cues, things like gasps, laughs, or sighs.
And the model will just speak them aloud, in context.
That's right. It dramatically increases the emotional texture available for creators doing narration, voiceover work, or even interactive characters. It's a big leap toward humanizing these synthesized voices.
Meanwhile, back at OpenAI, they're not just building models, they're defining how we measure them. They just released something called frontier science.
Yeah, and this new benchmark is designed specifically to evaluate research-level reasoning in scientific tasks.
So this isn't about answering trivia questions.
Not at all. It's about pushing the models to synthesize complex scientific literature and draw novel, defensible conclusions. Strategically, this is significant. It shifts the competitive goalposts toward areas where these high-end models, like GPT 5.2, which predictably took the top spot already Excel.
It's a way of saying we're not just better at simple tasks, we are redefining the limits of intellectual competence. It makes some of the newer buzzy competitors look a little weak on those high-stakes reasoning tasks.
Precisely. And back in the image domain, another player, Black Forest Labs, is pushing the envelope with FLUX.2 Max.
Okay, what's their angle?
FLUX.2 Max is their new top image model. It has upgraded editing, but the truly unique feature that differentiates this startup is its ability to create visuals from real-time web data.
Wait, so what does that mean in practice?
Well, think about the implications. Instead of just static images, you can generate graphics that instantly reflect the current stock price or the local temperature or real-time news headlines.
That immediately transforms things like dynamic advertising. It's no longer a pre-rendered process, it's something living and responsive.
Exactly. And in deep analysis, we have AI2, the Allen Institute for AI, introducing MOLMO2.
AI2 has a fantastic reputation for fundamental research. What's MOLMO2's specialty?
MOLMO2 is a state-of-the-art open model family, and it's focused on comprehensive video analysis. This goes way beyond simple object recognition. It excels at complex temporal tasks, things like following objects across long stretches of footage, counting specific events, and locating precise moments deep within hours of raw video.
That fundamentally alters industries like security and database indexing.
It does. It means you can ask a database of footage questions like, show me every instance where a red car paused at this specific corner, and the system can accurately find and segment those moments.
It creates truly searchable video content.
Treating visual data with the same fidelity we currently apply to text.
That's a phenomenal roundup of where the major investments are going. So now let's pivot entirely to the practical applications, the trending tools that are actually moving the needle right now, building on these breakthroughs.
Yeah, these are tools you can explore today that really exemplify the current trends in productivity and creativity.
First, in the creative analysis category, we've got Sam Audio from Meta.
Sam Audio is a powerful model for segmenting sounds using text prompts. Think of it like MOLMO2, but for audio.
Okay, so instead of manually isolating tracks...
Right, you can just type, isolate the sound of the electric guitar riff, or segment the speaker's voice from the background crowd noise, and the model handles it. It's a huge deal for sound engineers and podcasters.
Next up, for corporate strategy and content, AirOps is seeing a huge surge.
AirOps is all about bridging the gap between planning and execution. It translates complex corporate strategy documents into effective, winning content marketing copy, sales scripts, internal comms.
And this ties right back to our multi-agent study, doesn't it?
It does. It demonstrates a highly specialized, single, efficient agent for a very specific task.
Then we have Felo, which is focused on document productivity.
Right. Felo was a tool designed to turn static documents, PDFs, spreadsheets, into a dynamic, living workspace. Instead of just reading, you can interact with it, generate summaries, ask questions, extract data points.
And finally, illustrating the democratization of product creation, a tool just called Anything.
The name says it all, really. Anything is designed to translate simple words and prompts into functional mobile apps, basic websites, and usable tools.
It's lowering the barrier to entry for product development to almost zero.
Yeah, it shows how AI is shifting from being a content generator to a product fabricator.
That is a hefty list of some really powerful, accessible tools. Okay, to bring our deep dive to a close today, we saw the sheer intensity of the creative AI race, with OpenAI really flexing its technical muscles to take back that leaderboard position.
Yeah, through sheer quality and consistency. And fundamentally, we got a necessary reality check from that Google and MIT study.
The assumption that more agents are better is just demonstrably false when the task requires sequential reasoning.
Or when a single agent already hits that critical 45% accuracy threshold. Efficiency matters just as much as complexity, and often more.
What's really fascinating here is how the hyperrealism of these new image models, like Image 1.5, connects to the advanced analysis we're seeing with models like AI2's MOLMO2.
It's a great point. The ability to create photorealistic, consistent synthetic media is rapidly converging with the ability to analyze and dissect that media on an almost molecular level.
The synthetic world is becoming indistinguishable from the analyzed world.
Which means the models that can efficiently navigate that complexity, whether it's a single agent analyzing video or a multi-agent system analyzing financial data, those are going to become the most valuable assets.
So that leaves us with a provocative thought for you to consider this week. If the goal is to succeed in a reality where hyper-realistic synthetic media is abundant, does the most valuable AI skill cease to be creation and become verification? And how does that tension impact your strategic choices about building simple, highly focused verification agents versus these elaborate, multi-layered creative systems moving forward? We hope this deep dive provided you with the nuanced, immediate insight you needed this week.
And if you found this useful, please share this deep dive with others who want to stay quickly and thoroughly informed.
See you in the next episode.